Welcome to Education 435 Online. This is an introductory video that will just kind of explain the expectations for the course, and then we'll also dig into what we're going to work on in week one. So each week on Monday or Tuesday, a video will be uploaded in that week's weekly content folder, which you can access right here in this link, that will explain anything that is necessary for that week's work for you to do. So following that video upload will be a Blackboard announcement to let you know that the video is ready and the coursework is ready. So just know that that is coming, and hopefully that will offer some clarification to anything that you may have questions about as you dig into the work for the week. So I want to just kind of navigate through a couple of pieces of this class. So this is our home screen right here. The Adult Online Education Office has a few standard pieces of information that are here for you to access, so just know that those are there. And then we have the course contact information. That will have all of my contact information as well as the help desk, Blackboard, and any of those groups or people that you should need to reach out to. So this is my email, office phone number, my office. And if you need to make an appointment to see me, here is the link to access my calendar to book your appointment. You just put yourself on my calendar, and so this link will get you there. Email, phone call, any way that you need to reach out to me is just fine. So let's go ahead and take a look at our syllabus for the class. I'm not going to read everything in it, but I do want to just draw your attention to a few things. Again, here's my contact information and office hours, course description. You do have two textbooks for this. It is my understanding that this textbook was the textbook that was communicated to you that you should have, and this one may not have been. So I did send an email last week that these two books were the books that we were going to use. So I do have week one set up just in case you don't have the textbooks yet, that you should be okay to do the work for week one. But you will need both of these books. And here are our student learning outcomes, as well as how I will assess your understanding of these outcomes. So let's talk through these really quick. I want you, through the course of this course, to be able to identify best teaching practices that apply to elementary math. I want you to be able to differentiate math learning activities to meet the needs of all students that are going to be in your classrooms, as well as design lessons based on North Carolina Standard Course of Study, and integrate technology into your lesson planning for math. I also want you to be able to evaluate student progress and understand math concepts using formative and summative assessment data. You're also going to do a lot of reflection on current research and teaching trends in elementary math, and then also your participation in the course. There's my attendance policy, and that's the standard attendance policy for the Adult Online Education Office. And just so you know, the way that I will monitor attendance, when you log into Blackboard, it keeps track of your login. So in order to get your 10 weekly attendance points, you need to log in no fewer than 2 times a week, complete the discussion board and your peer responses, complete your weekly tasks by the due date, which is Sunday at 11:59. So in doing those 3 things, you'll earn 10 points for your attendance for that week. This is an 8-week term, so you will have 80 points in total that will contribute to your grade. All of these are pretty standard grading scale time expectations. Know that this is going to take, I wouldn't say 6 hours, but probably 3 to 4 hours of work per week that you'll need to be putting in, so make sure you're budgeting that time. Because this is an online format, we do a lot of communication through email, discussion boards, and things like that. So please make sure that you are adhering to these norms and expectations for online communication. Here are some expectations for you as a participant in the class, and also for me as your instructor. And then the Campbell policy information on your academic integrity, email and internet policy, student support, campus requirements, and all of that information. Here are the in-task pre-teaching standards. So this is what we work towards to align to for your education courses. And here is our schedule. So each week we break it down so that you have your learning outcomes and what you're doing to show that you are learning or working towards mastery of those outcomes. So the format of the learning outcomes, this kind of heading, learning outcome, connects to the course learning outcomes that were listed right here that we talked through. So these are the same as these standards right here. And then the bullet point items below those core standards are the weekly learning outcomes that you will be meeting to be able to eventually lead up to meet to that course level outcome. So the items in the bullet point are really what you're working on for that week. And then these items listed in the right-hand column are the readings and assignments and tasks that you will complete in order to meet those bullet point items, and then essentially the course learning outcomes. We'll take each week 1 week at a time. So each week we'll check back in to our schedule so that we can see what we're going to be working on, but you are absolutely welcome to look ahead and see. Here is kind of a quick glance at the work that you're going to be doing. So probably the most comprehensive grade and ongoing throughout the term is going to be your interactive notebook and field experience journal. You will have 5 points per entry element that's required. So here is an explanation each week what you're going to need to have in your interactive notebook. And we'll get into that in just a minute when we look into week 1's content folder, because these required elements are already built into your notebook that you're going to be making a copy of. So this is just a visual for you to say, if each element is worth 5 points, here's our weekly total. And here in all, 150 points for the interactive notebook through the course of the semester. You're also going to have a math lesson observation and reflection, a tutoring project that you're going to be working on, and then a presentation about your field experience and your tutoring project. You also will have do nows, which are like your discussion boards. So know that your discussion board is worth 10 points each week. You're required to make your initial post, and that's 5 of your 10 points. Then you're required to post to 2 colleagues' comments, 2 peer comments. So in the event that we only have 2 in the course, you will have 5 points for your post and 5 points for your comment to your peer. So you won't have 2 additional posts to make, just the 1. And then here is your attendance grades and points that were mentioned above. So you have 510 total points possible. A couple of key things that I want you to remember down here. So I will always accept late work. All of your weekly assignments are due Sunday at 11:59. If you are in a pinch and you can't get your work finished by 11:59 on Sunday, absolutely turn it in on Monday or Tuesday, understanding that it will be 2 points off per day past due. So that being said, I know it's frustrating to have points taken off. However, if you have 30 points for your week 1 interactive notebook, if you turn it in to me on Tuesday and you get 26 out of 30, well, that's way better than 0 out of 30. So I always will accept late work, but it will be 2 points off per day late. Also make sure, we'll have a few things that you have to turn in through Blackboard Turnitin. Please make sure that you completely submit your task when you get to that point. So I've had several students that have thought that they've submitted, but they didn't confirm, and so they never received a confirmation email. Then it turns into a late assignment and you start losing points, which is frustrating when you've done the assignment in the time and you've just not turned it in on time. So please make sure that you completely submit your Blackboard assignments and you make sure you get that confirmation email. All right, let's go back to our week 1. So these learning outcomes are also going to be in your Blackboard weekly content. So you will only see 1 week at a time. So once we get to Monday, next Monday, I'll open up week 2. But right now we're just looking at week 1. So the learning outcomes on your syllabus are also the learning outcomes right here. So this week we're going to be working on defining and developing understanding of the standards of mathematical practice as it relates to your field experience classrooms. Research best practice of Hattie's visible learning in math and connect to your field experience. Create your interactive notebook and field experience journal for your weekly notes and your observations in your field experience. Identify the pacing of math topics in your standard course of study for the placement. And then reflect on current math instruction in your field experience. So those are the targets that we're going to get to this week. When you navigate into your week 1 folder, this video that you're watching will be listed above this discussion board, but the first task is going to be your discussion board. I want you to respond to this. That's 5 of your 10 points, and then you're going to reply to your peer, and then that's your other 5 points. So please, I've listed, this is your prompt. You have kind of 6 elements to it, and I've provided my example here. Then also in your weekly content folder, you remember the expectations of your learning outcomes for this week. So here are some supports for that. Here is North Carolina Standard Course of Study for Math. When you click on these, it will open an additional tab. So you will have access to those standard course of study. It's a large document, so it may take some time. There we go. So that's something that you're going to need to reference in this first week. You also have the standards of mathematical practice. You'll need to reference that in week 1. Visible Learning for Math Preface. So this, I didn't want you to have to purchase an additional textbook, but I did want you to be aware of the research behind visible learning and visible learning in math. So you will see in your interactive notebook for your weekly responsibility that you're going to need to access this preface and chapter 1. And then here you will see your interactive notebook field experience journal, and this is one that you will make a copy of. So I'm actually going to stop this video and just keep it at that introduction. I'm going to upload a second video that is going to be specific to your interactive notebook field experience journal, how you need to access it, create your own, make a copy, send it to me and share it. So that's going to be a secondary video that's uploaded. But for right now, you guys are going to spend your time in this week 1 content area folder. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the syllabus. And then you're going to get started on your discussion board, your standard course of study, mathematical practice, your visible learning, and your interactive notebook. And this is in week 1. So we'll dig into what some of those are and what you need to do with those specifically as we dig into your interactive notebook, because the prompts are built into your notebook. So take a look at your interactive notebook instructional video after this video, and please always reach out if you have any questions. Send me an email or give me a call. Thank you so much.